Dr. Ben Spencer.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I and the people of Runnymede and Weybridge have watched the plight of Ukrainians in horror. The appalling actions of Putin and Russia, the murder of civilians, senseless bloodshed to satisfy a man's historical grievance. Now, often people try to make sense of evil actions by trying to ascribe it to some form of mental illness, lunacy, insanity, not thinking rationally, rather than confront the sad truth that evil actions are done by evil men, levelling cities, forcing women and children in their millions to flee, to lie and lie and lie, watching one's own country and citizens become impoverished. That's not insanity, that's evil. And it's often said that liberty is not free, peace comes at a price. But central to peace is the commitment to the rule of law. And evil men and evil deeds must be counted, condemned, criminalised, and the perpetrators convicted. Now, I strongly support the UK's approach in response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the supply of defensive weapons, the sanctions, the humanitarian aid and our refugee response, and I want to talk briefly on the latter two. I support the UK embargo on Russian oil and gas. It cannot be right that as we heat our homes, we refill our cars and trucks, we are bankrolling the Russian war machine. But we need to go further, faster. We need to stop dead imports of Russian war fuel. Now, some have said that the current situation demonstrates why we can't pursue net zero, but I strongly believe it shows the opposite. Never has it been more important to have clean domestic energy dependent on no one else but ourselves. Imagine if we had that now. I'm reminded of the saying that the best time to plant a tree is 50 years ago, but the second best time is today. This is why we need to crack on with expanding renewables and nuclear, supporting UK gas and oil during this transition period to a clean energy production domestically. Turning to the humanitarian response, our support for refugees, the people of Runnymede and Weybridge stand ready and willing to help. As always, our community response, the incredible offers of help, is amazing, and it's not surprising that my constituents have come forward in such a way to support Ukrainians, as seen just a couple of weeks ago by the Stand With Ukraine rally in Weybridge. And I welcome the recent Homes for Ukraine announcement. I am concerned, however, that the most vulnerable of refugees may end up being disenfranchised. It strikes me that there's a danger that the approach may be easier to go through for the Ukrainian refugees who are more internationalist, or for those who speak English. And I think it's very important that the scheme is monitored very carefully as it's rolled out and as it's enhanced and as it's changed going forwards to make sure that we support all refugees, not people who have particular strength in terms of personal advocacy. Of course.
Thank the member for giving way on that point and making a really powerful speech and point. And on that note, we've heard throughout this debate that the Ukrainian refugees coming to the UK will be some of the most vulnerable. There'll be older people and there'll be children, and unaccompanied children especially. Isn't it really important that we ensure that the people offering their homes are fully vetted and that they are providing a genuine safe haven for people fleeing a war zone?
Well, I thank you very much for that intervention, and in fact just yesterday I asked the Secretary of State at the dispatch what to ensure that not only, I think it was yesterday, not only in terms of historical vetting, but also ongoing support for people and families who open their home to make sure that people don't take advantage of their vulnerability. Of course, there's always going to be a balance in that, and we do need to, as I was saying earlier, crack on and get people over here as soon as possible. But I think she's absolutely right that the ongoing safeguarding is a very critical issue. I do worry, though, that we will see even more huge movements of people. I think that's inevitable, and we need to support very strongly dispersal of people from Poland. They're going to struggle, they are struggling. And we need, I repeat my call, to work with our European allies to do this and to tackle, as the Honourable Member for Maidenhead said, to tackle the people smugglers and the most vulnerable, supporting the most vulnerable of refugees. But I want to finish on this. As we all watch the horror and the bloodshed in Ukraine, the murder of fellow human beings, our brothers and sisters, we are all hurting. We want to do more. We want to see it stop. But the future is murky. Each path forward is beset with challenge and danger. Where is the Golden Bridge for Putin and Russia? I hope and pray that it's found soon. But if anyone can find it, President Zelensky can.